Be
No,
live.
you're
I should be.
recording.
I should be live. I am recording.
Yep, you're up.
I was the whole time.
Yep.
All right. Good deal. We were recording, so you heard that map. But today is January 13th, 2013.
11313.
You got it. And the weather conditions are currently
Cold.
cold, very cold. 19 degrees. Winds gusting 13 miles per hour from the west. 57% humidity, dew point 9 degrees, and visibility is 10 miles again.
Did you have a sheet of ice on your car this morning?
Yes, I was going to talk about that. Huge sheet ice. Actually, I picked up Annie last night from work because the ice was so bad, and then had to scrape the ice off of her car today, and it was a good quarter-inch thick.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was thick. And then I got some of that de-icer stuff.
You don't
Useless.
really?
Well, maybe because it was a quarter-inch thick.
Yeah.
But
You gotta
that
take a
de-icer
little
didn't-
pick
yeah,
and a hammer to get that.
de-icer didn't do anything to a quarter-inch.
Yeah, today I realized how lucky we are to have a garage. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
we
like-
need a garage.
When you get a house, you gotta get yourself a garage.
Yeah, the next place we're looking at is gonna have, well, definitely gonna have a parking spot because we don't even have a parking spot right now. We're just parking on the street.
Oh, yeah.
So at least get a parking spot, but a garage would be key. So, anyway, that is the weather, and I got a good quote of the day.
Oh, what's the quote?
It is, "Time is the coin of your life. You spend it. Do not allow others to spend it for you." Carl Sandburg.
Nice. So,
I like that. Time is the coin of
time
your
is the
life.
coin of your life.
You spend it. Do not allow others to spend it for you.
That's a good one.
It is. I am a little.
I
far
got
away
an
from the
article
microphone.
that
I gotta get some music going in this. All right, go ahead.
I was gonna do last week. It's kind of goes along with like what I believe in with jazz and sort of
Oh yeah. that's
one
right.
way it doesn't. I don't know. It's interesting though. It says, did the American Songbook kill jazz? So jazz is venerated its own traditions for so long that the musicians seem stale and the audience is gone. Now what? So I would say yes and no. There are new people doing some fresh original stuff that's outside of the American Songbook. That's brilliant. That, you know, I would go out to Chicago to see or whatever. And then there are other, you know, small groups doing the same standards, and sometimes I get a little bored with that unless they do them really, really well, which sometimes they do. So, all right, so here goes the article. At first, it sounds like a mistake. The opening notes are blurred, like something has gone a bit wrong in either the playing or the recording. But, whoa, all of a sudden I could hear myself really loud.
That was you.
Okay.
I wanted this one.
But after a few bars, we realized that these bent notes from a horn, we just took a stark bass and drum behind them, are outlining one of the most hallowed of American standards. Tenor saxophonist Sonny Rollins is at the Village Vanguard, bashing through What Is This Thing Called Love, as if he could anticipate the punk rock that would come to the same neighborhood 20 years later. It's an elegant song by Cole Porter reduced to its skeleton, and all the things you are, and softly as the morning sunrise, get the same kind of rough, raw, harmonic, daring treatment. It's the kind of thing jazz can do at its best, but something the music may be doing less and less of, or too often and not well enough. The various factions that make up jazz world, audiences, musicians, writers, plus the teachers and students who seem to be the only groups growing in number, don't have a consensus on the matter, but the jazz fraternity seems to know two things. Despite continued artistic quality, the audience around the music is dying, and the choice of what jazz songs musicians play and what they don't play may be part of the problem. This is interesting stuff here because you know, I'm a jazz musician, as we all know, and it's really you really gotta strive to try to break from the norm of these songs and the songbook and try to make everything sound fresh, which is pretty difficult. So that's what this is talking about, and I've kind of had this feeling for a while that some of these songs, you know, I had that feeling the other day. I heard Pent Up House, and it's a melody. It's ba da 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 ba da da, and I just had a feeling, you know, that song just no one ever does anything with it. I don't know. It just always kind of has a staleness to it. And it also talks about the recent death of Dave Brubeck, which only reinforced longing for the days when innovative and substantial artists were also in the field's bestsellers, like Time Out, which had Take 5 and Blue Ronalella Turk. And they even covered some different tunes like Take the A Train, but the way those guys did it, they had a pretty fresh approach. Anyhow, this article goes on and basically it talks about people should be playing more original stuff, or if they're gonna do something old, really try to put their own spin on it.
Be more innovative with it.
Yeah, try to be more innovative.
How does that work? So okay, we live in the days of sampling music, right?
Yeah.
A lot of DJs sample, and there's copyright issue with it. How has the jazz field always felt about, well, sampling music, if you will, taking songs, and obviously everyone does it different.
I'd say it'd be mixed, you know.
But do people feel like that song's then being stolen because they're taking the original tune and then expanding on it?
You know, there's a lot of mixed thoughts on that. I think one thing is there's people that make their career doing jazz with samples, at least, you know, smooth jazz and more of the genres. But some of the newer guys coming out, they try to cross the genres a little bit and throw in some samples. Guys like Mute Math and Square Pusher is a big one who uses a lot of samples, and what he does is pretty fresh because he actually reprograms a lot of stuff.
Okay.
So, you know, but there's probably a lot of purists out there that hate that. You know, the old school guys, they want to hear the standard stuff, and they, you know.
Do you know of anyone who's ever been sued over that?
I don't.
In the jazz world, because there's DJs who's definitely been sued over sampling music. Michael Jackson specifically. I think he really get attacked for sampling anything he owns.
Right. I think more.
But I don't know if I've ever heard
guys,
of jazz musicians going after other jazz musicians for using their stuff.
Yeah, it's more like people use samples from the jazz guys, but I don't think they go after them. At least in jazz, they won't use the samples as much, you know? They'll try to do fresh stuff, but then the jazz guys are the ones that get sampled by, you know, the R&B artist or the, you know, whatever, Square Pusher, you know.
I've always felt it's more of the recording that's owned, not the music itself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
the music is out there.
The music is out there. Everyone has, like, I don't know. That's even with ideas and books. I feel like even if you, I hate to say it, steal a story, but there's so many stories that are similar.
Yeah.
Even if you really heavily take, like, say someone takes Peter Pan's story, which has been done a lot of times.
Yeah.
And rewrites the Peter Pan story, pretty much going down the line of exactly what happens in most of the Peter Pan stories, but has actually rewritten it. I don't really feel like they've stolen it. They kind of did, but you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah. They rewrite the same story.
If you've rewritten it, I feel
like
the
hero's journey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Joseph Campbell has already said that there are only like two stories. Anyway, there's two stories. What's the two stories? There's the story of the man who goes on a journey, and there's the story of the stranger who comes into town. That's it. That's every story.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, pretty much.
So, anyway, that's the idea on that. But, I don't know. So, anyway, so the American Songwriters Killing jazz, they say.
The American Songbook. It's
Or the
basically
American Songbook, I'm sorry.
it's basically a number of songs that
The American Songbook.
have kind of, they call them standards, and
Okay.
they've been kind of passed along as like, you know, some of the original jazz songs, but
Yep.
they've been played so many times that sometimes they just start to get stale. So that's what the article's talking about.
Yep.
So it looks like you've got the word of the day.
Yep, I have a word of the day. It is. Oh, run it this time so that we can hear it. Here it comes.
Abhor.
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 Abhor. ABHOR. To regard with extreme repugnance. Loathe. Abhor. She is a strict vegetarian who abhors the consumption of meat. That's a good example. I like that example. But abhor.
Huh.
Yep.
That's my mom right there.
Your mom abhors
Anything
the
cooked.
the consumption.
Anything cooked.
Anything cooked.
I've got the Spanish word of the day here.
Oh, the Spanish word there. That's a good one.
So it's
before.
apretar. Apretar. So to squeeze, tighten, or compress.
Ah.
Here's a sentence. No me voy a comprar este vestido, me aprieta demasiado. That means I am not going to buy this dress, it is too tight.
Nice.
And here's one more. Aprieta el paso que ya estamos tarde. Pick up the pace, we are already late. So that's where they were using compressed time.
Ah. I see.
Aprieta. So that's how they conjugate it with an IE. They threw that in there.
And abhor.
Apretar. So it's
Apretar. I'm sorry.
it's an irregular verb.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff.
Nice. Have you heard the story of the $1 trillion coin?
No. What is this?
They're talking about printing a trillion, minting, a $1 trillion coin. I don't know too much about it, but I do have a story about Paul Krugman scolding Jon Stewart for platinum $1 trillion coin coverage. So the $1 trillion coin is an idea of trying to lower the debt ceiling.
Okay.
I'm not an economist and do not know exactly how that works.
Well, could they just
But
print $1 trillion on a coin and distribute it and say it's worth $1 trillion?
well, I think that's the idea, is that there would be a coin then that is worth $1 trillion, which would lower that by having something that's actually worth the amount of money instead of it just being numbers.
Yeah.
It somehow helps. I don't know exactly how. If anyone is listening and knows how the $1 trillion coin could help the economy, please call 414-935-2951. That's 414-935-2951. But anyway, again, not going into that. Look up the $1 trillion coin on Google and you'll find out a lot about it. But this article, which I find interesting, and is a completely different thought, is this Paul Krugman scolding Jon Stewart for his coverage of it. I'll read this real quickly. In a This Week web exclusive, New York Times columnist and Nobel Prize-winning economist Paul Krugman sounded off on Comedy Central host Jon Stewart's dismissive take on minting a platinum $1 trillion coin as a debt ceiling quick fix. It's a funny thing, but you want to be funny from a point of view of understanding what the issues are. There's a reason we've gotten to this place, Krugman said of Stewart's Daily Show coverage of the platinum coin issue, with Krugman criticized as which Krugman criticizes intellectual laziness in a recent blog post. Obviously, neither he nor his staff even did 5 minutes of looking at financial blogs. Lots of people think it's a bad idea. Lots of people think it's a good idea. But it's not just, oh, those idiots. Part of the point about Stewart is that he's funny. But the show is actually better informed than most of our public discussion. The idea is that the show should be like an especially good episode of The Round Table on This Week, but in the form of jokes. But when he turns it into dumb, I don't know nothing, but those people look dumb to me, he's ruining his own brand. Krugman, who appeared on the This Week roundtable discussion, discussed Stewart's Platinum Coin coverage while answering viewer questions from Facebook for an All Politics is Social, in quotations there, web segment. So you can check that out. All Politics is Social web segment. See some of Krugman's other responses to questions below. But, how do you feel about that? Should Jon Stewart have the same... Should his show, which is a comedy show, be held to the integrity of the other media, which even Krugman then says that the regular media does a horrible job of keeping its own integrity?
I think
so. Should a comedy show have to have higher integrity than? Well, I mean,
no,
it shouldn't.
I don't think so.
The point is,
he should be able to say
right. He should be able to say, "Oh, those stupid idiots and the $1 trillion coin."
Yeah.
But the problem then reflects where we're at in people's viewing of television and media, is that we actually regard Jon Stewart's comedy show as a higher source of information than our regular news.
Well, yeah, people take his show as the news, and they're like, I'm watching. I get my news from Jon Stewart. You know, it's like,
well, wait, how messed up are we?
And Stephen Colbert.
Yeah,
Stephen Colbert is like in character as a Republican, but he's really like a really liberal guy.
An over the top.
Yeah, he's like an over the top Republican.
And so we have come to the point now that comedy shows have a higher standing in the public's opinion than our regular news coverage.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So,
that's scary.
Yeah, that's messed up.
That scares the hell out of me. I don't know.
Well, those guys are smart, and at one point weren't they saying Jon Stewart for president or something like that?
Yeah. And I agree that I actually agree that I really like Jon Stewart and like his show, but at the same time,
you can't take everything seriously.
Right, you can't watch his show and just take his point of view on everything.
No.
I've never agreed with him 100%. I agree with him a lot. I was just listening to what's his head? Someone I don't like, Dennis Miller. And Dennis Miller used to do Weekend Update.
Oh yeah.
On Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And Dennis Miller is a hardcore Republican.
Yeah, I believe it.
I disagree with a lot of his opinions on things, but I was actually agreeing with him a lot on how he felt that Republicans should deal with Obama on something. And it's like, I for some reason, we're at a point where it's like you choose people that you like and you just go with them.
Yeah.
Apparently we can't, especially in the news media, can't go into listening to somebody and be like, I agree with part of what they're saying, but not other parts. Why is that so hard? It used to be the core of how our government worked.
Yeah.
You don't see that anymore. You don't see a lot of, especially Republicans and Democrats, going with, I agree a lot with what this guy's saying here, but not there. Now, they still do it.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's completely out of control. But there's also very stubborn ones who do that. Like I can't think of the names, but have heard of different ones who stand their ground to the extent of, well, I am not going to go with any of what you said because I don't agree with most of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What happened to what happened to discourse and our conversations suck nowadays. I don't know. Somehow we have lost the ability to just converse. Talking has really suffered. I feel it's partly technological, but not really because we still do. I was gonna say it's partially the internet, but not totally, because we do talk to people a lot on the internet. There's a lot of conversations going on the internet.
You know what I noticed on the internet, or at least on Craigslist, the musician page, at least the Milwaukee musician page. A lot of today is just like people like venting and banter and
Yeah, there's a
just
lot of
like
that.
everyone. There's always like one guy who says something, and then everyone's trying to like who disagrees is like trying to outdo him. You know, it's,
Yeah, everything has
a
now
lot of-
become a game, a competition.
yeah, competition, and
you
everyone's
either-
trying to be
and you-
dominant.
and you
over
either
another
win or
guy.
lose.
Yeah, they're all trying to be dominant over some
Yeah.
guy saying something or whatever.
It's awful.
So,
It's horrible.
does anyone
Awful conditions.
wonder whatever
in-
happened to Boo?
awful conditions in talking in America.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Bublik the cat?
Who? Oh, the cat who was running for the-
Bublik.
Yeah, look him up.
I don't know. I found this other article here. It says campaigning from a cat's perspective.
Ooh.
They don't really mention Bublik in this one, but for 8 months I've been running my campaign in the U.S. Senate seat in Virginia against George Allen and Tim Kaine. During that time, I have learned a great deal how campaigns work, and more importantly, why we as people have become so disgusted with our political process. Just a few short weeks after launching my campaign and gaining national attention, a super PAC released a professional, well-funded attack against me. Since then, super PACs have spent over $16.5 million in Virginia alone, with 99.89% of those funds going to negative advertisements. Meanwhile, the campaigns continue to use over half of their funds to attack each other, putting their continuance in the unhealthy position of choosing the lesser of two evils. Well, this is pretty true with all politics around these days. In the meantime, my campaign has raised and donated over $15,000 to animal rescue groups throughout the Commonwealth. So is this like, this isn't an actual, is this an actual cat that's running? They have a picture of this cat wearing a bow tie here.
Yeah. That's nice. I'm not gonna be able to get the camera over there, but
Yeah, but I'm just trying to skim ahead here. Is there a cat actually running in Virginia? That's the question.
I don't know. But I thought Bublik was a Russian cat.
Bublik is a Russian cat, and let's see if we can find anything on Bublik.
In the meantime, I'm gonna bring up. We'll get to Bublik in a minute, but have you seen any or heard any of the Alex Jones on the petition to deport Piers Morgan?
No.
So do you know who Alex?
I know who Alex Jones is.
Alex Jones. Alex Jones got a petition going to deport Piers Morgan because of Piers Morgan's
Isn't he British?
yeah, his view on guns and gun control. Alex Jones wants to keep guns,
Right.
and
Piers
Piers Morgan
Morgan's against.
he wanted to have more of a British approach or something to guns, and got a petition going around and signed. Like, I don't know, I forgot, like, whatever he needed, 50,000 signatures, whatever he needed for the thing. And it to the White House, and the White House had to have an official response to the deportation of Piers Morgan for his view on gun control.
That's ridiculous.
I know, isn't it?
Well,
But
Alex Jones is just kind of over the top.
He is over the top. I think it's fun to listen to him, but at the same time, I can't believe that he kind of did that, considering how awful how obviously hypocritical and awful you would have to be to sign a petition to deport a guy because of his opinion. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? This is America.
That doesn't seem like he really thought that one
You're
out.
supposed to have opinions, and you're trying to he was being fascist.
Yeah, that is fascist.
Extremely. He was tyrant. He was trying to deport a guy because of his opinions. I don't know. I thought that would go against everything he stands for as an American, but I couldn't believe that one. Anyway, but the moral of the story is watch out, because everyone can turn hypocritical at times.
Oh yeah.
It's easy to become a hypocrite. It really is. So easy to be, and not, I don't know. For a guy who stands for all that is America, to try and deport someone
that's
due to their
crazy.
opinion is absolutely absurd.
He was just all about busting out like what is it, the something Grove? I can't remember what it's called.
Karl Rove. Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. You don't deport a guy because of his opinion.
Yeah. So there's really nothing new on Bublik here, right?
Oh, I got a thing here.
It says
It's Justin listening to that. Oh, he is.
says he's going for office. He wants to get the USSR back together. Bublik wants to get the Soviet Union back together.
Oh, that's good. No, I don't know.
I don't know. Could be.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it would be better. I don't know. We just got a text here from Justin Prop, and a normal friend of the show, but he is working, so he couldn't make it today. But he wants to bring up how there's a bill to abolish the 22nd Amendment, the two-term amendment, so Obama can be president forever.
What?
Yeah, I didn't. The guy's out of control, he says.
Is this a joke or?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything on this. I'm looking it up. But
While you look that up,
I'll,
I guess I've got an article here about a runaway racehorse. So, all right, runaway racehorse, bullet catcher escapes racetrack, gallops along road. So, racetrack officials say a horse escaped from Laurel Park in Maryland and galloped 1.6 miles on the road along with traffic before being caught. Laurel Park spokesman Mike Gatharan says 4-year-old gelding named Bullet Catcher was heading back to the barn after a workout about 9 a.m. Friday. Gaffigan says the animal tossed a jockey and ran off onto Route 1. That's pretty crazy. So the horse goes running off. Another jockey tried following the horse in a truck. The horse finally slowed down in front of a car dealership, and the jockey and trainer were able to catch him. The animal was taken back to the track in a van. Gaffigan says the horse had some abrasions on his feet, but the full extent of any injuries would not be known for a few days. So this is pretty recent in the news. This was this week. There's a video here, but can't really watch that.
Here.
There's a dog that looks like a lion.
I found the story on it.
Okay, yeah, let's hear.
So that's all we got on the runaway horse.
Yeah, he ran away and they caught him in front of a car dealership.
Right.
This was in Maryland.
It's okay.
Laurel,
Right.
Maryland.
All right. Well, we can call Justin, and I also got the thing here.
All
so
right.
I'm gonna give him a ring real quick. I'll ask his opinion on the Alex Jones first, but I did find the New York congressman introducing the abolishing of the presidential term limit.
It wasn't Obama introducing it.
No, it's New York Democrat
He doesn't wanna be
Representative
president.
Jose Serrano, who's been trying to do it since like '97.
Oh, sounds like a nut job.
Yeah. Hey, Justin, you were on the air.
Really?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Yeah, I don't know. How's it going?
It is going well. Hold on, I'm gonna adjust this a little bit. But I have to bring up before we get to the congressman thing, the Alex Jones and the Piers Morgan, the signing of the petition to try and deport him. Do you know anything more about that other than Alex Jones kind of just going off the deep end and trying to deport a guy for his opinion?
He's off his rocker, is what I say.
That's what I said. Unless you have more information that I'm not sure about.
Well, it was kind of what I was talking about before when it was just, it's infuriating. Like, okay, it's like this guy, Piers Morgan, he's from, he's British. He's here, and he's going to tell us to get rid of the Second Amendment, Like, that's asinine, I think. It's just like, why don't you go back to your country where you don't have a Second Amendment if that's the way you like it, Like, because, it's not like he's just some guy saying it. I mean, it's like, it's, it's essentially like subversion, because of just because of his position. I mean, because he doesn't really have a very large audience anyway, like a whole lot of influence, but it's still he's using that as kind of a way to,
Well, he's stating his opinion,
But that's
though, right?
just his opinion.
It's not like he's telling us to.
Isn't it an opinion-based show that he has?
Yeah, but it's just like, I mean, it's just, fine. Okay, if he wants to say it, then, like any other country wouldn't put up with that.
You don't think so?
No, if you wanted to go to any place else and talk, about, nobody else really has a Second Amendment, so, I don't know where you'd go, but,
But wouldn't freedom of speech be like, isn't that the First Amendment?
Yeah, but I mean, how can you be using your freedom of your First Amendment to get rid of the Second Amendment? I mean, I guess you can do it if you're actually protected under the First Amendment, but he's a foreigner, and I mean, he can't go back to England because he'll get arrested. So
Why would he get arrested?
Yeah,
I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
What is he?
Yeah, he fled. He fled England because he had phone hacking stuff, phone hacking, and he got fired from all his jobs anyway.
So he pulled a Roman Polanski?
Yeah, kind of, but not,
But not statutory rape.
Yeah.
Okay. Roman Polanski without the rape thing. Okay.
Yeah, he was a 13-year-old guy.
Okay. Bad joke, probably.
No,
But okay, so.
I just think he's out of line. It's.
So you think Pierce Morgan is more out of line than Alex Jones is out of line for asking for his deportation?
Well, he didn't even do it, I mean.
Oh, was it
somebody
his
else did it.
it was his
The guy that did it,
viewers?
but,
Or he was just pushing. Okay, I see. I didn't know much about it other than I thought what? I don't.
Yeah, I mean, he told people to go sign it, but it's not
Okay.
like any of these executive orders, not executive orders, any of these petitions, the people petitions, they don't respond to any of them except for ones they want to. So
They did respond to this one and said that they wouldn't do anything.
Well, because it got a lot of publicity, yeah.
Right.
But,
So.
it's not like, that's just a petition, it's not really gonna do anything. So,
Right. Yeah.
But it's
Exactly.
just more
It got the White House to have to talk about it, which I think was the original idea anyway, right? Wasn't it? It was really just to bring it up anyways. I mean, I don't think they really thought they were gonna deport him.
Well, no, of course not. No.
But anyway, I don't know.
I think enough people sign it, they wouldn't they?
I still think Piers Morgan, even though, well, I didn't know about the thing about him being a fleer. That's new information to me. But I mean, him using his show to tell people what he thought about the Second Amendment, I don't think was too out of line.
No, but it's just a really touchy subject.
It is a that it is.
In the middle of it.
That it is.
Just if he wants to influence it, in some way, I don't know. He can go to hell.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. So anyway.
What's the phone number there?
Oh, it is 935-2951.
Okay.
That is
I'll call you
935.
right back.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Bye.
235?
935-2951.
Oh. Okay. Right.
Yeah, Rob Max said he was going to call in because
Oh, good deal.
he's out and about.
Oh, here we go. And,
Someone's calling.
And that should be Justin. Hit the button, turn it up. Ooh, whoa, hey. And
Hey, got you.
hey, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, yo.
Hey.
Justin.
Yeah.
Man, it really cranks up the volume when you use that phone. But all right, we're good. So, sorry.
So you want to get rid of Pierce Morgan, huh?
Yeah, that's all right. Anyway. Moving on,
No,
because I liked your other message that you had about. But, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
Oh, no, what were you going to say?
I was gonna talk about
what?
this. I was gonna talk about the congressman who wants to abolish the 22nd Amendment, since we're on amendments.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think of that?
I'm looking at it here. It's New York Democratic Representative Jose Serrano. He reintroduced the bill to Congress on Friday, and according to this is a story from the DC Social Reader. The bill is a reintroduction of H.J. Resolution 17, which Serrano introduced in Congress in January of 2011. It also says that Serrano proposed similar resolutions in 1997 and 1999. Bill Clinton's administration during Bill Clinton's administration, and in 2001, 2003, 2005, and 2007 during George W. Bush's administration. He again proposed the repeal in 2009 after Obama took office. So according to this, every 2 years this guy does this.
Yeah. Does he say why?
That is a good question. Although that's interesting that it has been every 2 years. He introduces this since 1997. That is a lot of times of him proposing this.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't say it doesn't say why he feels that way.
yeah, I don't know.
He obviously feels very strongly about it, as he's been doing it for the last 15 years. But none of his proposals have ever made it to a floor vote.
yeah.
Or never will.
Probably not.
No, probably not. It's just,
But I think that's interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Who is this Jose Serrano, and why does he want to get rid of the term limit? That is a very good question.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't he understand the, I mean, sure, I guess we'll have to keep having, elections all the time unless they actually get all their guns, and they can do whatever they want.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the guns.
Yeah.
Okay. But before I get into that, but yeah, I don't know. And also this guy, apparently he's been in the Senate for 15 years.
Huh.
Yeah.
So he's obviously
He has to get voted in, right?
He's obviously a committed lifetime
Yeah, he had to get voted in.
politician.
Yeah.
Well, he's
it's
in
probably,
New York. So it doesn't say where in New York, but he's a New York senator.
Yeah, no, it's probably just as simple as he's in a Democratic area, and so it's like,
Yeah.
Democrat. That's really how these people end up staying in office anyway. Just nobody pays attention to what they do when they are in office, so.
Oh, this is interesting, though. The 22nd Amendment was passed by Congress in 1947 and ratified by 41 states by 1951. The last president before Roosevelt to prepare for a campaign for a third term was Woodrow Wilson, who pulled out of the 1920 nominating race to avoid deadlocking the Democratic Convention in San Francisco.
Huh.
Yeah, the Woodrow Wilson, that dude that apologized over and over again for Federal Reserve. No, it used to be just the thing. It was just 2 terms. Anyway, I mean,
It was George Washington who first said it.
Yeah.
The first
that just
president.
became-
First president. Because he
Yeah,
thought
so-
no one should have that much power.
Well, he thought no one should ever be president for more. Yeah,
Yeah,
someone
they
should be
didn't want a
president for longer.
dictator.
Too
They
much
don't want
power
a
for
king.
one person.
Right. Well, he didn't believe in kings.
Yeah, and he didn't want to. Yeah, exactly.
And the whole point being that you avoid kings if someone doesn't get to be president for more than 8 years.
Well, it was just, when they were drafting the Constitution, they were
King
looking around the
Obama.
room. Yeah, they were looking around the room. It's like, I don't want any of these people to be
Right. That's exactly what George Washington said. He was looking at everyone and none of these people should ever have have more power.
But if we had a King Romney, that'd be something.
Oh, wow. Or what about Bush? George
King Bush.
George
Well, I mean, that essentially,
Bush Jr.
It essentially is a monarchy there,
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you could say in a way.
Hey, the Bushes got 12 years, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
That's pretty good. Although the Clintons are going to be going for 16.
Oh, Hillary's
Well,
going to
they
try
never
going
left.
again?
What's
They
that?
never left to begin with. Anyway,
Oh, right. Well,
I mean, yeah.
Unofficially,
they changed jobs,
they just flopped, really.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
what do you think about Hillary?
Hillary in 2016.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about her blood clot?
I haven't heard.
I think they worked that stuff out. It didn't seem like it was anything too major.
It was convenient, I thought.
It was convenient.
Maybe she really does have a blood clot, but it kept her from having to testify about Benghazi. So.
Well, she's going to have to do that anyway at some point.
Yeah, she's eventually going to have to, but, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
It's a lot of stress,
It's
you know?
just funny, and like, yeah.
Stress causes
like,
that stuff.
What's that?
Stress could cause that stuff.
Sure.
Oh man, did you hear about Aaron Swartz? Thinking of stress.
Who?
Aaron Swartz.
No.
He was a big computer web activist who was 26. He committed suicide. He's the death of prominent internet. It just happened. Death of prominent internet freedom fighter Aaron Swartz took his life at 26. He was facing trial.
Is that the guy with the Untied.com website?
He helped develop Reddit and also RSS feeds.
Oh no, not Untied.
And was a huge web activist for open information and like open source. Here we have I got some quotes. Aaron did more than almost anyone to make the internet a thriving ecosystem for open knowledge and to keep it that way, wrote Peter Eckersley from California-based activist group Electronic Frontier Foundation. He refined advocacy for the progress and open information movement. Another guy said Swartz was just 14 when he was only 14 when he co-developed the RSS feeds. Everyone knows RSS feeds. He also helped launch social news website Reddit. But he had been due to stand trial in April for allegedly breaking into a closet at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, to plug into the computer network and download millions of academic journal articles from the subscription-only JSTOR service. So he was standing trial for stealing information. But yeah, he said unfortunately he would openly suffer periodically from depression. He is standing this trial. But horrible thing there. Aaron Swartz, big open source and open information activist. Horrible. But that's what we need more of in everything. Openness.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like, who was it? Well, that was Rockefeller that killed the, like, it wasn't the Tesla coil, but it was the Tesla, like, the antenna, the free energy antenna.
Oh, yeah.
Like free electricity in the air, and you can just harness it very easily, apparently. Well, I mean, there's all these YouTube videos on, like, I mean, you can do it with, like, $10 worth of parts, and it's, like, really, like, you know, a simple thing
You
to
can make
wire.
songs with that stuff.
What's that?
Do you ever see that where they make music with the Tesla coils?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, you gotta look that up.
I
It's
haven't seen that,
pretty sweet. They do all the Zelda themes and stuff.
But, like, Tesla is building a giant antenna to, like, just harness tons of energy to, like, distribute.
It sends it out like a radio wave, right? And then different devices could then like use that energy in the air.
Well, I mean, I'm
Is
sure
that
that's
kinda
one
how-
way you could do it, but what he had in mind was just simply, like, putting an antenna in the air and then, like, you know, having a cord going to it to plug into the devices to, like, power them.
Oh, so it'd actually be like a open source energy
Yeah.
port.
Yeah. I'm sure you could, like, just buy one and put it on your house and just have free energy.
Well, dang.
I don't know.
We gotta look into that one.
Yeah,
That's
but, like,
interesting.
no, I think that was Rockefeller. He's just like, I can't put a meter on it. So he, like, killed it.
Wow. Yeah, so if you think about how many different patents have been killed by things.
Yeah, by, especially, yeah. There was another
By
thing I heard, like-
corporations.
Oh yeah, mainly
Which are people.
corporations. Yeah. There was another thing too with the was it the Model T? I think like some of the earlier like versions of the Model T, like they had like these little things inside the engine that like if you open it up and you put magnets in there, like essentially all you used the gas for was to start it. And
Oh.
then, and it would just keep running until you turned it off, and then it would stop. But
Jeez.
like there was something like it was like in the 80s, I think, like some guys like found a couple of these cars and then they put them together and then they were driving around to car shows and yeah, of course they ended up dead.
Speaking of cars,
Man.
I've got this crazy article right here.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
Volkswagen floating car concept. The Volkswagen hover car is a pod-like zero-emissions vehicle that uses electromagnetic road networks to float above the road. The small Volkswagen has 2 seats and a joystick to demonstrate how the car would work. The Chinese couple here in this picture appears to be flying the car to test around the bustling streets of Chengdu. People seem pretty impressed by this. So here's the full article. So this article reports Volkswagen's levitating or floating car. It has no wheels and uses an electromagnetic grid.
It's pretty awesome.
Electromagnetic grid, and it will indeed change driving as we know it.
All this stuff always reminds me of the
future.
of the cab from Total Recall
Oh yeah.
with the little robot guy
Okay.
that Arnold pulls him, like grabs him out and throws.
It's pretty
Well, I gotta
wild.
go, guys.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you for joining us, Justin.
Yeah. Sorry about my tie right there.
No, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me get on with this article.
We'll
Some
we'll
are
talk to you later.
Okay. See ya.
more so and some less. However, most people are fans of the technology. And one automotive innovation that has been talked about for some time is the car that levitates or floats off the ground. This is like Futurama right here. Mm-hmm. Mercedes.
You know the best thing about that stuff?
Huh.
No more drunken driving.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Well, think about it. You don't have to drive.
That's true. It just drives
If you're
itself.
intoxicated, you just press the home button.
That's true. That's
Think
pretty
how
amazing.
many lives would be saved.
Yeah. That's pretty
That
awesome.
should really be like a major priority in my mind.
Yeah, they should jump on that one. Mercedes-Benz recently showed off its F-Cell hydrogen roadster concept. The F-Cell is a modern 2-seat roadster with large buggy-like wheels. Volkswagen also venturing into the future too, but this automaker has gone one step further and eliminated the wheels altogether. And how did the Volkswagen floating car come about? Getting to know what Chinese drivers want is a top priority for automakers, such as a huge market of the future equates to major vehicle sales and profits. Consequently, Volkswagen came up with the People's Car Project to inquire of China's citizens about what they want in their future cars. And out of
I could tell you what we want in our future cars. Cars that drive themselves on free energy.
Yeah, that's kind of what this thing is. Though.
I know, which is why
This
it
is
should
what
be-
we want, yeah.
This is why it really
That's
should
probably
be
what-
like a number one concern. You know what? That's more of a concern to me than anything that the Congress should really look into. How do we get this accomplished? That's what the government.
Well,
you know,
it seems like they've already.
federal government is supposed to be roads and the military.
Right.
This is roads right here.
This is
That
roads.
should be the number one or number two concerns in the country.
Well, they got to work.
Getting
All they
hover
have,
cars going.
all they would have to do is get the electromagnetic grid going.
Yeah, it's kind of like redoing the railroads,
Yeah, yeah.
except you're doing electric roads or
Yeah.
magnet roads instead of railroads. But we need to start building those again.
We would be able to still drive regular cars on that too, but hopefully,
Yeah,
see if they can.
but I mean, eventually, why would you want to?
Right. It's free
There'd
energy.
be no
and
reason. There would be no reason
and
at
they
all
drive
to have a
themselves.
regular car.
They're capable
The
of
only
driving
reason to have a
themselves.
regular car then would be obviously to go off road.
Right.
But how
right.
many people really go off road?
Yeah, just a few.
You know, there's a handful.
So.
Anyway,
They released a video of this car driving around that went viral.
no.
So soon we might be saying, let's not take that old hydrogen buggy, let's take the hover car.
Yeah, that's cool. Here's a quick article. Amateurs discovered 42 alien planets.
Oh, wow.
15 potentially habitable worlds were found, including one similar to the movie Avatar.
So how is this
And they were
done?
missed by astronomers, but
Astronomers.
But amateurs found them.
Huh.
So they're finding lots of a lot of new planets out there.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So they saw it with a telescope, or what kind of high power?
I didn't actually see exactly. Oh, we're about to wrap up, Theo. I didn't start with it, but I want to end here.
You want to do this day in history? Or?
Oh yeah, this day in history. I have one I saw on TV. In 1971, it was the debut today of Archie Bunker on All in the Family.
Oh yeah.
Groundbreaking TV show.
That was
One of the first. It was like the first TV
first
show.
like racist, like
sitcom.
openly.
Well, they dealt with serious issues as a sitcom instead of more corny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They actually went after the hard-hitting issues in a sitcom.
And
form.
it wasn't so much he was a racist. It was more
No, he
just
wasn't
kind of.
racist.
Well, he was, but they were trying to get that.
Well,
If you see it on a show, then rather than have it in real life, they kind of deal with
Right.
the issue, and it's a little bit easier to take in. But
Yep.
it was kind of dealing with the issue as well and putting a little comedic spin to it. I'd say. I wasn't a huge fan of the show, but it had its moments.
I think it was good for the country.
Yeah, that's
That
what
was
they
the
say.
point. It was good for the people to for the people who were more bigoted.
Yeah.
To see someone like themselves on TV in a less than favorable light for a change.
Right.
It's like, you're like, so people could start telling people, you know who you're like.
Yeah.
You're like Archie Bunker.
Yeah.
And then that would be bad.
Yeah.
But, we only have 2 minutes before Chuck
Archie.
and Santiago, so stay tuned. But do want to say in the NFL, the NFC and AFC teams have been decided. And unfortunately, the Packers are out.
Yeah.
Good season,
Well,
horrible game.
We don't have who's
but,
going to be in the Super Bowl yet.
Not quite. We'll find out next
Almost.
week.
Next week.
It's San Francisco versus Atlanta in Atlanta, and Baltimore versus New England in New England.
Should be
so
exciting.
we shall find. It will be exciting. I'm gonna root for a all Harbaugh Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because John Harbaugh and Jim Harbaugh are the coaches of the Ravens and the 49ers, and they're brothers, of course.
Oh, wow.
So it'd be a brother Super Bowl.
Brother rivalry.
And there's
comes to
Wisconsin
fruition.
ties because Jim Harbaugh and John Harbaugh's dad, well, obviously they have the same dad,
Yeah.
lives in Mequon.
Ah,
And their brother-in-law
you must be proud.
is Tom Crean,
Huh.
the old Marquette coach.
Oh, that's interesting.
So lots of Wisconsin ties if it's an all Harbaugh Super Bowl. So
Harbaugh.
I'm rooting for an all Harbaugh Super Bowl.
Root for Harbaugh.
Yeah, an all Harbaugh Super Bowl.
I got my money on Harbaugh.
Yeah, that's what I'm putting it on. I bet you could do that. I bet you could go to Vegas and bet, and it'd probably be really bad odds though. You probably wouldn't win much money. You just bet that
yeah.
a Harbaugh is going to be in
bet that Harbaugh
one of the
is-
Harbaughs will be in the Super Bowl. You get more money if you bet that it's going to be an all Harbaugh Super Bowl.
Ooh,
That'd be
yeah.
better odds. Maybe I'll do that.
That's a good one. You should.
I'm gonna have to call up Vegas. Anyway,
Credit card gambling.
and on that, we've got to go. Or remember my submarine gambling boat?
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
never mind.
Gotta
that.
get that for the game.
Gotta go.
Get it for the game.
Please stay tuned for Chuck and Santiago. And for another week, this has been Jim and Friends Read the News.
That's a wrap.
Goodbye, everybody.